Is there do we have some theme music? The new Facts Are Your Friends segment. It's a couple of days after Thanksgiving, and some of you are still sitting there in shock that you just experienced the holiday season that you experienced. The Thanksgiving at your in-laws' house or at your parents' house, or you just stared at your significant other and thought, this is my life. This is my life. Or your kids said that thing at Thanksgiving dinner and you thought, well, I'm going to go bury myself in the backyard. Or you were at your grandma's house and your son came out and you asked him, hey, did you change your underwear after you just took your shower? And he said something like, I haven't changed it in 4 days. Why would I change it now? And you think, I don't like the holidays. Here we are. Now, today's Facts Are Your Friends is going to be around around something I get asked all the time. Direct messages, people email into the show. It's the idea of choosing guilt over resentment. You just left Thanksgiving. And let's be honest, for many of you, for millions of you, it was awesome. It was a great time with friends. It was a great time with family. It was good. Some of you just took a dive. And when somebody started talking politics, did you vote? Who'd you vote for? You were just like, all right, I'm going to just, Jesus, take the wheel. And others of you had a rough go of it. It was a long ride in the car on the way there. It was a long ride on the way back. You didn't sleep. You can't go to the bathroom in other people's homes, whatever the thing was, right? And now you're already making plans for what Christmas is going to look like, the Christmas holidays, the New Year's holidays. Are we going to go somewhere? Are we going to not go anywhere? Who's coming to our house? What are we going to buy? Grandma already buys all this stuff. Mom and dad buy everything. Sister's going to buy. What are we going to do? We're going to choose guilt over resentment. All right, so on today's Facts Are Your Friends, guilt over resentment. Here's what it looks like. All right, guilt, I took some notes here. Guilt is the frustration or anger that I feel when I violate my own core values. Even if my core values are wrong, if they're dumb. Like one of my core values used to be, I will make sure everybody else is okay before me. And what that often meant was I ended up agreeing to conversations about stupid stuff that I didn't care about or that I abjectly disagreed with. One of my core values used to be nobody's going to disrespect me. And so I spent a whole bunch of useless energy trying to make sure everybody else recognized how important I was and how good I was and how smart I was and how accomplished I was. Complete and utter waste of time. And if I didn't get my, hey, did you hear that I got another degree? Did you hear I won this leadership award? Did you hear I got into Harvard? Whatever the thing was, I'd feel guilty about it. I should have told him. I shouldn't have said that. I said too much. Oh, my goodness. Guilt. Guilt can also be a value that's really important. I stole something and I feel guilty about it. I swore at my kid and I yelled at my kid and I feel guilty about that. That's not who I want to be. That's not who I am. And I did that thing. I snapped at my wife. I showed up late to work again. Like I feel guilty. It violates a core value here, right? So guilt is when you do something that violates your core value. Feel guilty about it. One of your core values. Resentment, on the other hand, is the jealousy I feel when someone has power over me that I've either conceded, I gave it away to them, or they took it from me because they're in a position of power. They've got bigger muscles than me. They're stronger than me. I'm staying in their house. They're paying my car insurance. They helped out with my down payment on my house and they've been holding over my head for 10 years, whatever the thing is, right? Resentment is about jealousy. Brene Brown has an incredible discussion about this. If you want to go further down the rabbit hole in this, that we all thought resentment was about rage, it was about anger. And actually it's about jealousy. That you have that kind of power over me. And here's the deal. Guilt is healthy. I think guilt is healthy. I think it's an evolutionary emotion, right? It's important for our bodies to feel guilty when we violate core values. They're going to ultimately separate us from our gang, from our people, from our tribe, from our community, from our spouses, from our kids. It's important that our body has a reaction to that so we stop the behavior. And then we do the necessary things. We ask for forgiveness. We say we're sorry. We bridge the gap or we put up boundaries. Whatever we got to do to become right with ourselves and right with our community again. Guilt, I think, on the whole is good. When you put guilt in your backpack and you choose to carry it, you go from I did a dumb thing to I am a dumb thing, right? That's shame. Guilt in and of itself is good. Resentment is not. Resentment is the death of almost every relationship. Resentment is ash after a fire, right? Choosing guilt over resentment is a powerful way to reclaim your life. When somebody challenges your boundaries, you're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get annoyed. I said we're not spending more than $100 on all of Christmas gifts, and you went and bought a $500 Xbox for one kid and Nike shoes for another kid. Man, somebody challenged your boundaries. They ran right over them to see if they were true, if they're going to hold. And you take the gifts and you put them back in the package and you set them on the counter and say, we are not taking these gifts. Thank you for loving our kids, but we all agreed we're not doing this for our kids. They've got enough stuff at the house, and we agreed on that. You're going to feel so guilty, and they're going to make you feel guilty. They're going to make you feel guilty. That's okay. The alternative is resentment, taking them the whole way home, seething. They got more power over my kids than I do. They've got more influence and sway because I said nothing. I just gave it away. Or I had to take this because I wasn't safe. It's resentment. It's ash. And so here, let's bring this home really close. Let's take husbands and wives. Husband comes in and says, hey, every Christmas we're going to grandma's house. And you, spouse, wife, you know that at grandma's house, you always end up in the kitchen with the 4 other women, and they're always talking about how much their husbands are lame, and you actually like yours. And one year you spoke up and was like, I actually like him, and everybody laughed at you, rolled their eyes. Somebody asked you why your jeans were so small. They made fun of your shirt. They asked you, oh, did you start going to Great Clips for your hair again? You're tired of it. They ask you why you let your kids talk that way, why they don't have some app on their phone, and you say, we don't do phones. And like, oh, well, I got your kid the new iPhone. You're just done. You're done. And here's what you can do. You can sit down with your husband well in advance and say, listen, this year, I don't want to miss the holidays again. I show up in body, but I miss them in spirit. I'm not the mom I want to be. I'm not the wife I want to be. I'm not the me I want to be. And so I'm asking you to join me in recreating a new holiday memory. And we'll let our families know that this year we're not going to travel. This year we're going to do Christmas at home. And the moment you say those words, you're going to feel guilty because you know your husband likes going home because he gets to go hunt with the guys. They all go out, they all hang out, and they have a good time, whatever. And he's not stuck at home doing bedtimes, doing morning times, listening to all the reasons he's a failure. You're going to feel guilty. And that's better than yet again getting in the car, seething the whole week before, seething the whole way there, snapping at your little ones, being cold, being frustrated, turning the music up a little bit louder, turning your headphones up a little bit louder. And when he reaches over to connect with you, you rip one of the headphones out and you go, what? What? It's not about him. That's you. That's the jealousy. Somebody else has control over your life. So this year, whenever you start to think, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to go, I don't want to be a part of this, think about choosing guilt over resentment. Choose feeling guilty and having boundaries. Choose feeling guilty and having peace. Choose feeling guilty over resentment, anger, rage, jealousy, frustration. Because your kids are going to look back and remember not what you said, but how you made them feel, as the old quote goes. And they're going to remember whether the holidays were a season of warmth, a season of laughter and joy, or a season of great tension. And they are going to make up their own stories as to why it was tense. And most kids, most of the time, put them at the center of that story, that they were doing something wrong. Husbands and wives do it to each other too. So let's choose honesty. Let's choose openness. Let's choose boundaries. Let's choose, what if we What if we designed the perfect Christmas and we reverse engineered it and said, how close can we get to that? Not, we have to go do these 5 things. We have to spend this much money. We have to travel this far. What if we didn't do that this time? What if we said, here's what would be the best holidays for us this season? Let's reverse engineer it and build that. And it might include family and it might not this year. And that's okay. You still love them. Still love them. But not this year. This year, we're going to lay low. We're going to hang out. We're going to do us stuff. We're going to go just play in a hotel pool. Kids will think that's more fun than an Xbox anyway. Choose guilt over resentment. Kelly, does that cover it?
Sounds good. Love it.
All right, good. That's Facts Are Your Friends, volume, 111.